I'd like to call upon Carrie's subconscious and higher self and any collectives that are willing to help us today.
Yes, we are here at this time.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the inconvenience of this new format, but I appreciate you willing to support us in this information.
It is our pleasure to be here at this time and to help you along this journey.
Thank you so much. I would like to understand the timeline that we're in right now, specifically the timeline that Carrie is in. Can you give us information about what the future of this timeline will look like?
The future of the timeline that Carrie is in is she's going to see an increase in the disasters that are natural disasters around her in her area and throughout the world. And this is going to continue to build up. And what we're showing her right now is there's fear from officials or government or whoever's we're just showing her, like, whoever's running the show, they're in great fear and they may pull the plug so that there cannot be communication to the outside world so people can stop seeing what's going on, because they realize that what they were planning on activating these natural disasters, that they're realizing people are more awake and that they're not actually going to be able to perform them like they want. So they want people to not know about them.
How are they noticing that people are starting to awaken up? What's happening?
They're monitoring the conversations that are happening through social media platforms, through those devices that people even have in their homes. They're monitoring the activism of people marching and rising up, and they're monitoring it all. And they thought that people were more asleep, but with more and more people rising up, they're realizing that, like, they were going to tie it to their agenda of global warming or they wanted to tie it into that. However, they realized people are more awake and that it's now unleashing, like, the unveiling of what's been going on of the crimes against humanity.
I see. So does this have any impact on the results of those world rallies that were observed over the weekend?
Yes, that had huge impact because those had been performed before and no one really took notice. It wasn't as much of a momentum. And this time it was a worldwide unification of great numbers that they noticed.
I see. And so what can you tell me about the sudden information about the American government asking and requiring their official staff to have mandated immunizations?
Yes, that's a part of the Great Awakening as well, as a part of the awakening of humanity to stand up, to take a stance and to question why. Why are they doing this? Why are they having, as a condition of employment of, for vaccinations? It's another tool that's used in awakening humanity and getting them to take action to empower themselves to say no, or to create conversation within families, to talk about these things. It's just another, it's when it is something that you think is in the, never going to happen as far as like worldwide, inoculation. And when it comes to your front door, that's when people really stop and take notice and realize what has been going on these past year and a half.
For those people who are still worried that they will be forced to have these inoculations, what would you like them to know?
Well, that fear is not going to serve them, that instead of being in fear to empower yourselves, that is not going to play out as far as the timeline that Carrie is on, that we're showing Carrie, she's not going to see it come to fruition. However, there will be some attempts once there's ascension to new earth, that the ones staying behind, they will still try to play out this timeline of inoculating all, but by that time people will be united and will not let it happen.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that reassurance. And what can you tell us about this common conversation that people are having about hybrids? Can someone here living in the 3D be a hybrid, and what can you explain to us what that means?
So there are genetic hybrids and there are soul spark hybrids. And most all that are here are hybrids of some sort. And we have covered this before about past, future lifetimes, the planetary systems that you take energy form or physical form on, you collect that energy resonance. And so in a sense, you can be predominantly one species, one race, whatever you want to call it, one collective, but you can carry the resonance of other collectives because that's what you've carried with you when you've traveled and you've collected that energy and put it in your bag. And so being physically here on Earth, you're all, energy forms of different collectives. However, most are predominantly resonate with one or two. However, there are genetic hybrids, which are a DNA mutation. And, as far as the pure lineage of the Pleiadian star seeds of the Pleiadian body structures that were created, there's been so much interbreeding that we show that most all of humanity here on Earth are genetically have the genetics of hybrid species.
I understand. So the Pleiadian designed bodies have been enhanced by different genetics to make us or help us cope with the environment.
Yes, it's to help, and it's just been part of the some of the experiments that have been done on Earth from different races.
I see. And so therefore, could it be said that we are all somewhat hybrids because of the design of our bodies?
Yes, so energetically you're hybrids and genetically you're hybrids.
I understand. And so for these people, these mediums or whatever that give people this information, this is just a misdemeanor, isn't it? To the fact that this applies to everyone.
Yes, it applies to everyone. I mean, it's just like people want to know their star charts and their personality charts and, arrange, because humanity does like their labels and does like to identify, which, I mean, at this point of what's going on in the world right now, it's a distraction. Like, if you want to know your true essence, you want to know you have questions, connect with your teams and they will help provide you the answers you need right now. Some of that can right now where we're at be a distraction, because if you need to identify with something to feel whole, there's a bigger issue going on.
Yes. And can you remind people how and what we're supposed to be focusing on at this incredibly important time for humanity?
Right now, the biggest focus is releasing those lower density energies, lower density emotions, raising your frequency, staying grounded and staying connected with your team, and most of all, loving self and loving all.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then we would like to be able to understand how is it that you would recommend us to be able to trust ourselves and trust others with the information, because it seems like this is a sticking point for many who are not able to trust your information and trust the information that we're sharing. What insights can you share for us?
We can share that it's old programming that has been instilled within you of to not trust, to seek a higher source for your understanding of everything, and that we want to connect with you. We have all the information that you seek and that you need at this time, and we love you. And, you know, love is something that is very hard for humanity to trust. Love for self is so important, because once you have that, you can trust that other people have love for you as well. And your love can outpour for others. And, you know, grounding and staying connected with us and monitoring your, you know, your food, your thoughts, your water, everything is really important, because having your energetic fields open at this time and clear and staying grounded is really important, because that will help you and help all the cells in your body interpret that information so that you can understand and trust.
Thank you. And what about those people who are afraid to hear about the natural disasters? How are they supposed to process that without going into fear?
Well, think of it as if we are changing and ascending to a new earth or a new place, that change has to happen. And part of that change can't be small. We've tried small changes over time and humanity has not awoken. Humanity has not chosen a higher vibration. They have chosen to stay asleep. And so it takes a great monumental shaking and shaking and flooding and, you know, any of these disasters, however you want to view them. It takes that to wake people up and to shake off that density, because the density is sticking. It's very, very sticky, and we have to cause great vibration to release that energy. And don't you want to get to a higher vibration, into that higher frequency and that level of just pure love and pure joy, where we're trying to help assist humanity to go? You guys all deserve that, and we want that for you, and we want that for all of the collectives and the beings there on earth. And to embrace it as a beautiful thing, and to realize that, yeah, sometimes you have to be shook a little to get that, you know, sludge off, so that you can now feel clean and just beautiful and love.
What about those people who are still not awoken to the full truth and still believe the narratives of the current situations? How are they supposed to see things from the bigger perspective? What can you tell us about that?
The best approach with that is to approach them with love and understanding where they are, because you have all been there, that are listening to this transmission. You've all been there at one time or another, and you can understand how overwhelming this amount of information could be. And so the best thing to do is to meet them where they are, in a sense, to keep your vibration. Doesn't mean you have to change your truth, but sometimes it isn't about giving them that information. It's just about showing them love. And love is that that energy that can be felt beyond words. And so that's really what they need, is just that love and understanding. And then if they solicit the information, if they ask questions, we welcome you to provide them what they need. But when you provide that information unsolicited, it is not necessarily their time and not necessarily for them to hear. And so just, we know you all can do it and work with that energy and understand where they're at and change the approach to what they need.
Thank you so much. And what can you tell us about the 10 days of darkness?
The 10 days of darkness will be when they pull the plug, as far as all of the power, and it is not necessarily darkness as a like a veil of clouds or weather, that it is darkness from transmission of any type of, you know, internet power, anything like that, on this timeline.
Can you give us the information of what it was going to be on other timelines, just out of curiosity?
On other timelines, there was going to be a great splitting of the seas, and there was going to be a solar flash. And with after that solar flash, there was going to be complete darkness with all of the earth realm.
Is this timeline for Carrie, is she going to see a solar flash?
She is not.
I see. Thank you so much. And what can you tell us about different blood types being connected to different starseeds?
The when the bodies were created here on Earth, there were different collectives that helped the Pleiadians create those bodies. And there are different collective races within those body structures. And the DNA and the blood types within those bodies track back to the original species that created the body types. So the blood types just go back to the original collectives that created the bodies.
I see. So you can test your blood to know what race you or starseed you are. Is that true?
It would be what predominant, but like we have said, the bodies have been changed, so it wouldn't include all of the mutations.
I see. Okay, well, thank you so much. So for those people that are knowing their blood types, can they trust the information to be able to link them to their certain starseed origins?
Like we said before, that is a distraction. It is not, it doesn't go into and break down the, like we're showing Carrie little molecules, like it doesn't break down that information to what they would need to truly identify it. It's just what the majority of that blood type is. So it's just a general like it's just a general guess, if you will, or general direction of what you may be, but it doesn't really break it down on a true scientific level.
So for those people who are selling this information to their clients, what would you like us to know about that?
We'd like people to know that's another distraction that's going on right now, and with the bigger picture where we are at in this timeline, that that is really, that doesn't help you do your inner work. That just gives you a sense of identity. But if you really connect with your teams, you're going to have that identity and that wholeness and that love for self where it really won't make that big of a difference.
Thank you so much. What can you tell us about the music and how it interferes or empowers our bodies? We are curious to know the power of music.
The power of music has been very, very profound in its true form. However, it's also been very manipulated over time as far as the frequencies. And like we showed Carrie, the sound tables with the sand, and that's a representation we always give her for this information, is that it can, different frequency can cause these beautiful, beautiful geometric prisms or designs, but it can also, different frequencies can cause very agitated designs. And if you think of it on that level, that if the frequencies that they infuse or that music infuses within your body can cause you to be a higher vibration or a lower vibration. And you can naturally know if the frequencies are making you feel, you know, like you want to dance, you want to move your body, if your heart's feeling like it's lifting up, if you're just feeling that good, like even if you think of fond memories, good memories, that's a good frequency music. If it starts to make you feel low, if it starts to make you think about things that agitate you, then that's music that's been manipulated off the frequency to cause agitation and to cause a downward spiral of your energy. And so what we do show is that the music on other planetary systems does not necessarily originate of the same, it's not the same. We use the sounds of the stars and the galaxies and the planets and the sounds of the frequencies that they emit in our music. And it is very Carrie's like, that's very interesting. That it's very it's in tuned with, you know, the natural, if you will, organic melodies of this universe.
Thank you so much. I was curious to know, is there a difference between what we call star seeds versus light workers?
Well, you guys are all star seeds. You guys have all had different interactions in past or future lifetimes of different star systems. So it is there was no origination of humanity did not start on Earth. Like humanity was in the collectives, like they've already ascended up the ladder and they've been like sent here on Earth. So you guys have already experienced other lifetimes and other planetary systems. Light workers are people who took a mission, if you will, or their contract was one of service, where they have come here with a specific mission to work with energy, to work with light, and to fulfill their contract to help humanity.
Thank you so much. Really intriguing. Are we able to learn more about Paige, please, Carrie's daughter? Can we understand what happened there to the body?
Yes, the vehicle just needed to take a breath there. So when Carrie was detached from her carbon body, her crystalline body detached, Carrie was pregnant. Paige was crystalline in nature within Carrie's body. Paige was never a carbon body within Carrie's uterus when she was pregnant. That is why it was very different for Carrie, that pregnancy. When Carrie's crystalline body detached and we on the ships, she detached with Paige in utero. And so both crystalline bodies went onto the ship.
I see. Is there any more information you would like Carrie to know?
We are showing Carrie herself right now, and we're showing that Paige is within her body on the ship. That we're showing Carrie that when she ascends, she will ascend, and Paige will still be in her like her belly. It's what we're showing Carrie, and so Carrie will actually be able to get to experience that birth, which she had an idea of, but this is great confirmation for her.
Can you tell me how a crystalline body gives birth?
We're showing Carrie like intention, like it's a very intentional act of like, it's not like here where you wait for the body. Like there you are very intentional with everything with the birthing process. It is a lot different. You manifest those things is how Carrie translates it. You intentionally, when you know that it's ready and there's a need for that birth to happen, then the birth will happen. And we are showing Carrie that it's very interesting, like energetically it's very different. However, and there's like, we're kind of showing her that there's no pain, that it is a releasing that's very different than here on Earth, but the same pathways. It will still come out the same way, but in a very different way.
It's extraordinary. And so how, I'm assuming there's going to be lots of these births when people arrive on the new Earth. Is that correct?
Yes, there are many crystalline bodies up there with babies that are pregnant right now. It is part of the seeding of the new Earth.
And what is the purpose and life experience that Paige wants to have on the new Earth?
She is like, it's one of giving like the new stars, like the new seeds of the people who have ascended, the adults, that so to say, or the humanity that's ascending. When they get there, it's to start the family structures and to be an example for how that happens, because they do need to seed, like, future generations, start seeding future generations for the new earth, because their imprints are different than the imprints of the collectives that are ascending from Gaia. So there'll be more of a pure imprint without that, the lessons that were learned on Gaia. And she is going to work with energy, and she is going to be part of the schooling, like what they would say the universities of the new earth, and help go through that, because she wants to be a professor once she goes through all that. Like, she wants to be a teacher of the knowledge. So she's going to be one of the first to go through, like, from a new baby, if you will, although Carrie finds it weird to, like, call her that. But she wants to go through that whole process so that the future generations, that she can be a teacher of all of that wisdom and harness the history and the knowledge of what happened to get there.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm curious to understand this timeline when we were told about those who have been inoculated and have the life contracts to use as exit points. Will we see this as a big sudden event, or is this a gradual event where it's spread over time?
It's already started. However, the disclosure of it has not, they've been linking it to other things. They've been trying to call it other things. However, there is, soon you will see mass amounts, because, like, they were given, like, we're showing Carrie, like, water in the injection. They were given, the first batches were like, they weren't actually like have the medicine in there. They were just fake so that people would feel at ease with getting them. And so now that people are going to get, the re-injections, they're actually getting the medicine in its purity. And so that's why we're going to see, like, a mass reaction.
Can we understand the agenda from the past president of America endorsing this?
We're showing because he cut off their timeline. They wanted to perfect the medicine. They wanted to perfect it to make it more powerful and have more of a, like, changing of the body. And by him speeding it up, it actually made it so it was weaker. And so they weren't able to finish what they were wanting to accomplish.
Okay, thank you so much. So what else have we not asked that we need to know about moving forward in this timeline?
Moving forward in this timeline, it's just very, you're going to see things ramp up day by day. And we want you to still continue to hold the light, keep your energy high. We want you guys to embrace it with excitement and bravery, and just know that we are there with you and giving you the tools that you need all along the way. Do not go into fear. This is what you guys have all, what Carrie is interpreting as, like, training for. And we all know that you guys are ready for what is about to occur. And we just want to encourage you and love you along the way, and tell you that, beautiful times are ahead. A beautiful release is ahead, and beautiful new worlds and new places await you.
Thank you so much. From your perspective, what is the significance of all the floodings that are happening around the planet at this time?
The floodings, they are happening because people, it's another thing of waking people up. It also has to unveil the truths of what's gone on. We have heavily supported what you guys would call free speech, however, we just call it speech, is that we've supported people sharing this information over the past year and a half. And that information still has not woke people up. And so it is taking this grand flooding to release some of that information to the surface. And it is also a way to release some of the points in Gaia that needs to be activated right now in this time for her release.
What will happen when the floods recede? Is that going to be something that Carrie will see in her timeline?
She will see some of it. Some of them will recede. However, there is like we're showing her the big dam, the Three Gorges Dam. She will not see that recede. She will be there for the breaking, but with the larger bodies of water, she will not be here to see recede.
I see. So her timeline will show the collapse of the Three Gorges Dam.
Yes.
And what's significant about that breaking that you'd like us to know today?
That there are to help people not be in fear for all those that may be hurt, that a lot have actually been evacuated from the area. There have been smaller flooding that have been happening that have allowed those humanity that were in that area to evacuate. It is to destroy the what is underneath that, and to also I mean, it's just kind of the final collapse that those who are ascending need to have to release for Gaia, and those who are staying behind, of that collapse needs to happen for somewhat of a reset for the ones that are staying behind.
Thank you. And finally, is there anything else that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that you would like us to know about for our curiosity?
That we are, yeah, that we are. No, not at this time. We're showing Carrie that not at this time.
So there is something that is happening behind the scenes, but you won't tell us.
Right now, with the information that's going on, we feel that we would like to give this information in bits and doses, let people process, and then be able to provide it.
Can you give me a hint about what that subject matter is?
We're just showing Carrie big ships in the sky. Lots of them.
Oh, I see. Well, so will Carrie see that in her timeline?
In a sense, she will. No, like the only time she's going to see it is when she's in them.
I understand. And so will this be seen for those people who are staying on the old Earth?
Yes, we are showing. Okay, so we're showing Carrie that the evacuation that they're preparing. That is all we will say at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. And is there any new information about the laser we were told about?
There's no new information about that at this time. We are still like that is still to be determined if that is the best thing to play out. So it still is a high probability, but it's still, there's still discussion of whether that's the best for humanity of what needs to play out.
Thank you. Is it true that that is the history of what has happened to the planet?
There have been use of this technology in the past, yes.
In a different timeline for totality of the planet's experience?
Yes, we are showing Carrie like Poseidon. We're showing Carrie like during the Atlantean time.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, that is interesting. And so did that help the collapse of Atlantis?
Yes.
I see. Was that crystals that were activated?
Were the crystals deactivated?
Were those the crystals that were activated?
Yes.
I see. And in terms of, Carrie sent me an image which looked like something from Star Wars, but it also reminded me of the moon, about the laser systems. What can you tell us about that so we can understand it a little bit more?
Yes, we can tell you that, like, we're showing Carrie the backside of the moon, that there are a lot of bases and technologies that are on that side of the moon, and that they can use that technology for what you guys would call the laser beams. And there's a lot that goes on there on that side of the moon.
Has that always been the case in different timelines or not?
For most of the timelines, it has been the case. However, this is a second moon. This was a rebuilt moon, and that's when this was created.
I see. And we have asked about the moon before, but it seemed like we were not given much information. Can you tell us why?
Because we felt like it wasn't pertinent to that timeline. And it was somewhat of a protection from getting people from like trying to get too inquisitive about that information. We're showing Carrie that like there were wars there. I don't know. We're showing her that it was information that was heavily protected.
Okay, thank you. I do respect that. Okay, is there any final information and messages you'd like us to know today?
No, not at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the information you've provided for us.